Anyway, I got there and he said, now, just so that you get comfortable being around me, there's not going to be anybody here all day. He said, this is my work time and they know that. He said, but take off your clothes, you can leave the underwear on, you're going to lose it, but leave it on. And he had me cutting up bandages for half an hour, and then he took me out to where he had built the framework for the sculpture, which you could walk into. And he sat me down at the bar and he said, now if you were a wealthy woman going to a bar and you really didn't were places where people wasted time and the Beacons men were there and the artists were there, but you were lonely that night and so you went down for company, what would you be doing? And so we can recreate that. And I said I'd be sitting at the last booth where the bar came around into the wall. I'd be sitting right there, and I'd have the dog on the chair next to me so that none of the Beacons men could sit down there. And I would have my hand out, and I would be reaching for Barney, the Beanery's owner, his arm with my hand, you know, just like to get his attention, so he talked to me, because I wouldn't talk to anybody else there. So he set it all up and he took measurements and he took me back into the kitchen and he had something resembling an arm, a rolling pin or something, and he had me put my hand right there, and then he put on the music from Zorba the Greek, which had just hit. The movie had just come out. The music was wonderful. And it took all day. From like 8 o'clock in the morning.
And he made a cast then.
Yeah. And he did it in quarters. One leg in the front of me, one leg in the back of me, one shoulder and arm in the front of me, and the other one. And these 4 pieces then were put out on the living room floor to dry. And so I saw myself in 4 pieces. Then he said, I'm having some dinner delivered. I thought you might like to talk about the process. He knew I was writing my thesis on him. And so, anyway, I said, fine. He said, well, why don't you take a shower? You're just covered with plaster beads and oil. And I said, okay. And he said, you want me to scrub your back? And I said, no. And then 15 minutes later, I had to call him back because I couldn't get this stuff off my back. And so we went in the living room. We talked for another 2 hours. And it was just utterly fascinating. I learned so much. And when I went out, we had dinner, and the next morning, on my desk was another envelope, and I opened it up, and it was me assembled, sitting on a bar stool, and without my dress on. It was really great. He had a good sense of humor, and he was a lot of fun to work with. And to know what those pieces really meant. But once I did the show, I didn't need to go and get my thesis done.